I love great conversations. Hi, my name is Angel Jones. Thank you for joining me on 12-minute convos where I help you create a brand of your own unique, real self. Listen in as I have conversations with amazing people from all over the world. Good night, Sandy Grigsby. How are you going on this wonderful, beautiful night?
Amazing. Today is the best day ever.
Love it, love it, love it. What part of the world are you in right now?
I'm in gorgeous Santa Monica, California, and it is getting dark now, earlier than I like, but it's still, the weather was beautiful today.
That's great to hear. And which of your talents is responsible for us connecting at this time?
Well, I'm a branding and portrait photographer, so I get to show people how beautiful and powerful and amazing they are. And that's what I do. So I'm connecting with you to talk about that.
Well, I got to looking on your pictures. Wow, they are amazing. You are great.
Yeah.
I especially love the one with the leather couch, and I love how the website is set up where you hit the right arrow to see more. Well, and then you see the entire couch, and then there's the other lady there, and she's putting on her shoes and she's taking off her blades, right? Wow, amazing stuff. Who did you learn those mad skills from?
Well, interesting. Actually, I started out as a graphic designer, web designer. Part of my degree, which is visual communications, included photography, but that wasn't my focus. And I worked for some amazing photographers in Los Angeles. I worked with two amazing ones, actually. And I learned from them, and I just honed my craft. And doing graphic design and web design, I always had to deal with client pictures that they were giving me for their websites, and they were always terrible. So I had to practice more photography to get them beautiful pictures to match their gorgeous website, and it grew from there.
Wow. Intriguing. Wow. It's like one of the things I'm hearing consistently is how businesses are formed by listening to their customers. Like they get out there, and then there's the conversation, the communication, and then you alter your business to suit the client's needs. Is that something that you've seen as well?
Absolutely. All of the time. Because especially with my clients, because, if you have a high-end product and you want to present that to the world, but your pictures are mediocre, you can't do your job effectively. You can't show how amazing this product is if the pictures suck.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing for people, right? So when I photograph people, they're amazing. People are amazing. I mean, everyone I meet on a day-to-day basis, even today, the guy who drew my blood at the blood thing when I had to go get my cholesterol checked, yay. I just started conversing with him, and he was such a wonderful human being, and to hear his story and how he takes care of his mother with cerebral palsy and all of these things, he was such a beautiful person. So everyone is beautiful. And when I photograph them, I try to capture that beauty that they hold so they can share it with the world. And then you want to hire them because you actually see it. You're like, this person's amazing.
Yeah. Love how you said that. So what's your process for connecting a bit deeper with their story to then take their picture?
Well, I actually take time to get to know my clients first.
Okay.
So I've never had it where someone just shows up and I take your picture and you leave. It's a process. So I have phone consultations. I get to know them. I schedule calls before they even come in for their photo session. I learn about them, what they do. I talk to them about their family, their friends, who they are at the core, so that when I'm presenting them in pictures, it's who they really are.
Now, you are very photogenic as well. Who took your pictures? You're welcome.
Well, I kind of did.
Wow. That's amazing.
People are like, what? My assistant was around, and I said, hey, I queued it all up. It's lit. I know what to do. I just need you to look through there and focus on my eye and push the button. And she's like, okay. And that's all she did. So I set it up, and I just had her push the button. I would have used a remote, except for I needed my hands free, so I didn't.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think photography definitely is a skill because it's a still storytelling that's going on. It's not like, I'm getting to speak here, so it's audio and I get to ask questions, but to be able to tell an entire story by one still picture, I definitely appreciate the art form.
Thank you. Yeah, it is an art form for sure.
Yeah, most definitely.
I love what I do, so I'm blessed.
Yeah.
I get to work with people and create stories for them, and it's so much fun.
Well, do tell us, where's the best place for us to go follow your story?
You can follow me on Instagram. I have two accounts. One is Brio Five, which is just my business, so you'll see all of my work. And one is more for my speaking and my education, which is Sandy in Focus. And I also have a website, which is brio5.com. It's BRIOFIVE.com. So you can check out my work there. And follow me on Facebook. It's Facebook.com/Brio5 or Facebook.com/Sadie in Focus. Either or.
There we go. Well, tell us one other thing that you've done consistently over the last 3 years, Sandy.
Well, over the last 3 years, I have made my own rules. So that's something I've done consistently. Like, I decide when I'm going to work. I decide when I'm going to vacation and eat and sleep. I know that sounds really basic, but a lot of us let our jobs tell us what to do. So we don't do it on our own. So I really like I'll tell a client I'm unavailable because I actually probably have to go to the gym. You know what I mean? So I just consistently have made my own rules, and it allows me to be flexible and do what I want. And that brings me joy. It makes me happy. And then I can serve my clients better.
Suggest to someone that's listening, especially a photographer, I think, because a photographer definitely does the work, right? And is always there and wants to always be there. Suggest to them why they do similar to you. Set your schedule for your personal life. It
just depends on what their outcome is, right? So for me, I say that I would make a terrible employee. And it's because I have no patience for being told what to do. So if they hate being told what to do and they would make a terrible employee, then they have to make their own rules and they have to create their own accountability and make their own lives happen for themselves. So that's the number one reason for me. I worked as an employee a few times. I say a few times because I never lasted long. I think one of the longest jobs I had was like 8 months and I couldn't take it anymore. And I quit and I started my own business. So if that's you, then just take your life in your own hands, make your own schedule. I make my schedule. For me, like, I have to be at work at this time and I work this many hours and I don't answer my phone. I don't Facebook. I don't do these things because I have to get my work done. And it works.
Amazing audience. We are live with Sandy Grigsby. Again, you can connect with her on all of the mediums she expressed, right? Which is Instagram, which is, well, you didn't say LinkedIn, but there's Brio 5, right? Do connect with her.
I have LinkedIn as well.
Oh,
Sandy Grigsby. So it's LinkedIn, Sandy Grigsby.
Oh, there we go. Well, Sandy, let's switch gears for a moment now and let me invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. Sandy, what is your earliest childhood memory?
I would say when I was a little girl, my parents went shopping without me and I was really upset. And I was left alone with my grandparents and I hid under their chair, that rocking chair type thing that grandparents sit on.
Yeah.
And I was way in the back and I remember my grandfather on his hands and knees trying to coax me out. And I was having a fit and I wouldn't come out because I was insistent that my parents needed to take me with them.
Intriguing. So why do you think this memory is so clear and how do you see it connecting to who you are today?
I think it was because I was in protest. Because I stand up for what I want to do, I didn't want to be bossed around. And they were like, you're going to stay here with your grandparents and we're going shopping. And I was like, absolutely not. So I'm going to throw a fit and be in protest. And the grandpa, I guess he had to call her. They didn't have cell phones back then, but I guess he got her to come home early or maybe she just did by default. But she came home and I stopped crying because they were there. And then they took me out, I think, for ice cream or something.
That's amazing. Well, can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind?
Absolutely.
I love the idea of your photogenic memory. It's just fascinating that all of these images would be caught amongst the emotions that are going. The fit, the confused grandparent, the angry mother, if you would. But to just see what I am imagining is going on in your mind, I'm guessing each picture there is pretty vivid, is it?
Oh, absolutely. I still remember exactly how it was. I remember being under the chair, the arm coming and getting me. Oh, and one thing I left out. I'm from Switzerland, but I grew up in the U.S., was born there. My grandfather was speaking German, Swiss German. And I didn't understand one thing he said. The more frustrating. And he didn't understand me. So it was kind of an unfair situation my mom put us both in.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, that's amazing. But if we fast forward to when you were 12, what was your favorite song?
Oh, geez. I have to think back at what year that was. Okay, probably would be Opposites Attract by Paula Abdul.
Oh, there we go. It's amazing how it connects though, right? I mean, like your grandfather, definitely language barrier, your mother, you, opposites do attract, don't they?
It's so true. And if you think about it, because my father is Native American and Black, and my mother is from Switzerland, so she's white. And they are as opposite as it comes.
Wow, that's fascinating. Oh, love it. All right. Well, Sandy, we've arrived at our destination. But before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form. So it's yes or no, possibly a bit more. We're going to go pretty quickly here. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Sandy, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
No one in particular, but if someone's ready to learn, I'm ready to teach.
Are you married?
No.
Do you have children?
No.
Do you?
But I have a dog.
All right, there we go. I was wondering why you were delaying. What's the dog's name?
Tiffany.
There
She's a
we
rock
go,
star.
Tiffany.
She has her own line of greeting cards. Check them out. It's on Dog Chatter.
Check it out, yeah. Do you believe in God?
Yes.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
Absolutely do.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
No.
How about 3 hours a week?
Sometimes.
What about screen time, the phone and or the computer? Is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
It's way more than 8.
All right. If you had to share with us, Sandy, your own unique real statement, a statement that represents who Sandy Grigsby is, what would you say that is?
I would say be your absolute best self. The best you can do each day is perfect. And don't beat yourself up over not being the best at anything or everything or perfect. Just be the best that you can be each day.
Love it. Sandy, this has been a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
Yes. Don't worry about failing at things or not being perfect. Just stop comparing yourself to others because you are amazing just as you are. And as long as you're striving to serve others and be the best that you can be in that moment, you will succeed because life is an adventure. So enjoy the ride.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, Sandy was crying under the chair, right? And at the end, she got ice cream. So,
Exactly.
Sandy Grigsby, thank you for being on what is inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Thank you for being on 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Stay tuned for more from our advertisers.
Diabetes is a mountain pandemic. It's a disease that's not acute but chronic. Similar to this rhyming method, I have simplified the definition, the signs and symptoms, and the complications of diabetes for both adults and children in my books, Poems for Patients, A Focus on Diabetes, and The ABCs of Diabetes for Children. These books are available on Amazon.com, and for more information, you can visit my website, poemsbyaj.com. That's poemsbyaj.com.